Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lord of the Rings, the Battle for Middle-earth 2, The Age of the Ring. This is yours truly, the Iron Kaiser, and I am casting live on Twitch. So if you're not already following me over on Twitch, be sure to check me out over there at Iron Kaiser Gaming over on twitch.com. But we're back in the world of the Lord of the Rings. It's been a little while since we've been in Middle-earth. And in today's battle, we have the Elves of Lorien in the green being played by Prophet versus... I'm sorry, actually, I said the orange. It's technically, according to the minimap, it's gold. Gold and yellow, orange, something or other here. Either way, the Elves of Lorien in the south versus in the north. Under the color white, we have the Goblins of the Misty Mountains. And let's take a look at their early builds here. We have mines up already. Mines 1, 2, and 3 for the Goblins. And barracks. An orc cave coming online. Of course, you've got to be aware when you're playing against the Goblins, they can jump in and out of their mines like a tunnel network. So a lot of mobility if they are allowed to get those mines up and running. Our elven opponent going heavily into the... No, I was going to say heavily into the economy. But you've got to distinguish between all these different trees. This one right here in the middle is the Elven Barracks. We have Tarwarwaith, Sylvan Levy units coming online. Strong versus Pikemen. So a sword unit, if I'm not mistaken. Swords, we also have sentries, so that's spear units, and the scouts, which I believe are archers. So, Elven swordsmen coming online. Meanwhile, we already have a cohort of Moria orc screechers out and about. Look at this down here in the south. An orc tunnel spawning in. If I'm not mistaken, that was... No, that's not... I thought that might have been a... That's not some sort of goblin power. That's just a builder running his way down the base. So, a really sneaky little location here. And that builder is able to use the mine to just get out of there. Now the Screechers are waiting for the right time to strike. Swordsman moving forward. Screechers and more Screechers. Those Screechers, actually, they look like they are... Yeah, those are swordsmen. I was going to say, I almost wondered if they were archers, but no. One, two, look at this. This is numbers right here. Quantity is the quality. According to Moria, 3 barracks are up and running. So, mass is going to be the name of the game here. The spearmen, the Tawar and Aethir, if I'm pronouncing that right. The Tawar, they are moving their way into the north, even as a horde of goblin fighters are rampaging into the south. It looks to me like First Blood might go to the goblins. But wait, yeah, the tree goes down and oh my goodness, they dodged those arrows well. The Lethio Iphelin launches a small volley of arrows anywhere on the map. They bobbed and weaved across those bows. Well played to Moria. They, the elves, I don't know if they're not seeing the mine or trying to find something maybe a little more valuable. First Blood, I would say, goes to Moria for sure. If we take a look at the population down at the bottom, we're looking at the max pop count not just for the sake of population, but that also gives us a pretty easy metric to check to see the economies of both players. And right now, both players are at 450. That might change here as we see Elven fighters mixing it up here. I think they might be outnumbered. This, of course, is the hard part about fighting the Goblins, is the Goblins can go on offense, but then if they need to get back home, they can just pop into a mine. Boom, they're there. Few armies can boast the kind of mobility that the Goblins can muster. As long as you're keeping a good eye on the minimap. The Elves find this forward mine and decide to do something about it. I would say, yeah, as the goblins are pressing in from the north, this mine will go down. Both players still at 450, so eco numbers, the economies look like they're pretty even. Now the goblins have 300 pop on the field compared to the elven 200, but maybe the quality of the elven units will make up that difference. The X key scatters all selected units, FYI. That's really good to know, and I would say that was a well-timed use of the X key there earlier from the goblins, you know, just avoiding that power. We have archers on the field here, and of course elven archers are never anything to laugh at or sneeze at, you know. I'd say what the Rohirrim are to horses, the elves are to bows. And even though in the Age of the Ring there are 3 different factions of elves, you have the Lorien elves, let me see if I can remember this correctly. We have Rivendell, essentially. Well, that would be Lorien. This is Rivendell, and then there's the Mirkwood elves, which is a different faction, and then a third faction. Or is it Lorien, and then it's also I'm forgetting the name. Elrond, right? I know the comments will correct me on this. There are 3 different factions of elves, but all 3 of them have at least decent archery options. That, you know, elves and archers are always going to be talented in the world of Lord of the Rings. More mass coming in from our goblin player from the north. The Frozen Wastes. So that's a goblin power. And what that's doing is it's giving those goblins extra damage and armor and experience gain. So goblins, of course, are quantity over quality, but as long as they fight under this ice patch, they are sturdier than you might expect. And I would say that we are seeing that here as the elven front line does appear to be falling. Maybe not fast enough, though, as the archers in the back shredding through these frontline units pretty effectively. Well done. I knew the comments would help me out with this. So we have Lorien, Rivendell, and the Woodland Realm as our 3 options in the Age of the Ring mod. And all 3 of them have pretty good archer units. Moria Orc Screecher. More Screechers. Have Screechers been the only unit that we've seen from the Goblins so far? These are definitely cheap units, and it's all about the mass. 329 pop on the field for our Goblin player. I'm sorry, 329 for the Elven player. And only 190 for the Goblin player. Okay, wait a minute. This is swinging a little bit. We've got to pay attention to the economy. Right? We see that there are more economic buildings on the field for Lorien, which means more resources coming in. And they also have more pop down, out and about. The goblins are getting attacked from the south by these level 2, let's say a level 2 and a level 1. These elven melee units. Getting some damage in and then running. Good move, good move. Enemy hero on the field, the Great Goblin. Let's take a look at the powers. Swarm. Oh my goodness, wait a minute. We can't talk about that right now. We have a giant moving tree! The Huorn. And that has to be a Rivendell. Yeah, Prophet, right? So, doing a great thing there. Hopefully letting this level 3 swordsman escape, right? Oh my goodness. Alright, I think we have a moment to breathe. I don't think that this tree is actually going to do that much damage from here on out. We'll keep eyes on the Huorn. I'm going back to the Great Goblin. So, he can summon Goblin Town Warriors, and he buffs Moria Orcs and Goblin Towners. They gain speed for 20 seconds and damage. 50% speed and damage. He's unlocked the Goblin King ability. Nearby Orcs and Goblin Towners gain damage and armor and resistance to fear and terror. It's a passive ability. And at level 7, gives targeted units excellent experience. At level 5 is the Goblin King's Demand, summoning a Totem of the Swarm, which lets him recruit Goblin Town Warriors and reveal stealth units. Nearby enemy movement is decreased by 25%. Wow. Good area denial control ability there. Antiquarian. Okay, so I think... Uh-oh.
That'll do.
This is very vague, but I believe this means that he can summon in some coin, some cash, but there might possibly be something else that comes along with the coin, which is to say some kind of dragon or something like that. And then at level 10, Abominable Song. Nearby friendly units gain damage and armor. Nearby enemy units lose damage and armor. So, a good buff-debuff hero, which makes a lot of sense if this is going to be a game of mass versus mass. You love to see it. The Elves, though, are in a really good spot here. Goblin Pop is at 220 on the field, 525 max. Our Elven player is at 900 max pop, 380 on the field. I would say as the Goblins, you know, if you're playing a game of quantity over quality, you want to have the greater quantity. So if you find yourself behind in the pop game, I do like seeing the White Wolves. Maybe that'll make a difference here. And maybe the fact that the Goblin Towners, they have that hero, and the Elves don't, that might make a difference. And even as I say that, Lorien has a hero on the field, and it's not just any hero. It is Galadriel. Let's talk a little about what she can bring to the table here. Foresight. Reveals Shroud in an area. And also, enemy units lose all leadership and cannot earn experience for 30 seconds. Okay? At level 3, the Lady of Lothlorien, all nearby friendly heroes gain additional XP, and the recharge timers are decreased. That's great if you're going with a bunch of heroes, but Galadriel is currently the only hero on the field, so I don't know that that's a good play. Light of Valinor. Galadriel is revealed in white light and reflects a portion of the damage dealt to her for 20 seconds. Cool. Nearby enemy units flee in terror. Makes her a good frontline unit, I would suppose. Bear of Nenya. All nearby friendly structures gain armor. Good on the defense, but you have the lead right now. The Storm Queen at level 9. Galadriel takes on the form of the Storm Queen and temporarily gains 50 armor, 50% armor, 300% damage to structures, and her attacks become ranged. Area of effect attacks last for 30 seconds. That would be really cool. If she makes it to level 10, that would be a really great boon to her, to Lorien's aggressive siege play. But right now, I'm not really happy with the pick of Galadriel. I think that maybe some other heroes out of the roster might have synergized better with the current lay of the land. And now that I say that, even as I've been talking, the flow of the battle has changed, as now the Goblins have 490 pop on the field compared to Lorien's 250. So the quantity has swung back in Moria's favor, and they have gone on the offense. So now, I would say maybe Galadriel, well, let's just say it's time for her to shine. I do like this little alcove being built here in the north. Lorien spreading out its base. It's really good. Salamander Pope King here on Twitch is saying her base attack is crazy good versus the swarm of the goblins. The Misty Mountains. Which makes sense. I mean, I would assume, even as I'm sort of sharing my thoughts, based on the abilities, I would assume that both of these players are probably better at the Age of the Ring than I am. So I figured there was some X factor here, and yeah, the area of effect melee attacks, well, melee, the area of effect auto attacks make a lot of sense here. The Totem of the Swarm, that is one of the powers of the Goblin King, reinforcing this location. I'm not sure precisely how useful that was, but it definitely will slow down this counterattack here from Lorien, letting the Misty Mountains maybe regroup. 500 pop on the field for Moria versus 170 pop for Lorien. But eco-wise, the coin coming in is actually favoring Lorien. And when it comes to the heroes, Galadriel is a more valuable hero. Not to mention, she's now flanked by Rumil with the abilities, let's see, leadership. I don't think Haldir and Ornifin are on the field right now. That doesn't matter. Guthalion, target monster flees. Nearby Sylvan Scouts, Levitt, so this is the tier 1 units. Gain 50% vision range, archers gain more attack. And then finally, Feigned Voices summons an illusion of archers. Very cool. Those archers will debuff enemy units. Oh my goodness, a swarm of abilities going back and forth here. You see those goblin units have gained extra armor, but then there's the Huorn you have to worry about. The longer this goes on, the better I feel about Lorien's position. Because I see more heroes. Galadriel's making more and more sense. I say as she goes down, oh no. The great Goblin King might be right behind her. Oh my goodness. Is there any way of seeing just how much HP he has?
Lorien archers, ready for battle.
No, that's like... That is the most absurd thing on the planet. Like I zoom in this close, and I still, the HP level, he has like 10 HP. Oh well. He makes it out. That's a nice coup there for Goblin Town. 320 pop on the field for Lorien versus 414 for the Misty Mountains. This little location here to the north has not gone unnoticed. The wolves going in for an attack. They're going to get shredded, I think, between the arrow fire and the spearmen. They go down, but not before Golfinbull. I haven't even noticed Golfinbull. This is a goblin hero that's already reached level 7. And he's just totally slipped on my radar. Let's talk about him a little bit. Chieftain of Mount Gram. Nearby wargs and cavalry gain damage, speed, and experience faster. White Wolves of Forokel summons 3 White Wolves to the target area. And, well, now he's past level 6, it's 6 Wolves. And then at level 8, he and nearby Wolves, Wargs, and Wolf Riders gain damage, armor, and trampled deceleration. Less trampled deceleration. So the point is, Wolves are going to be really nice when near that hero. 700 pop for the Misty Mountains, 540 pop for Lorien. Both players? No. Lorien is at 1,000 max pop. The money is rolling in for Goblin Town at 825 pop. It's not bad, but it is a little behind. 800 versus 1,000. That's a decent percentage difference there. The Mines of Moria, the Misty Mountains, they've just picked up the Watcher of the Water as an ability ally. You can expect a giant tentacled behemoth to show up in the next fight between these two units. Battle's getting crazy. The Lorien, you can go no further. Stuns every enemy unit in a small area for 4 seconds. The volley of arrows. Waters of Nimrodel. Summons statue in the center of a great pond of water. Friendly units within the pool are immune to debuffs. That's pretty cool. Twisted Malice. Permanently summons a Hjorn. Now that Hjorn is on cooldown. I think right now the abilities might favor... Here it is. Yeah. This is scary if you are Lorien. Will we see any Elven units consumed by the Watcha? Will we see Galadriel get knocked to her feet? Poor girl. I don't know how many units die. Wow, okay, that answers that. 69 pop on the field right now for Lorien versus 670 pop. This is Moria's game to lose at this point, in my opinion. We see heroes. We've mentioned the Great Goblin, but we've also got Lug the Mauled. Alright, talk with knives and sword. Let's see. He's an anti-hero hero. He gains armor and damage. Yeah. Okay, so some abilities coming in. Galadriel getting very close to level 4. Light of the Valinor was used there. Slowing down this goblin push, but I don't know that it's enough.
The March Wardens will heed their lord's call.
Yeah. And again, I'm surprised that we're not seeing a more forceful push here from Moria. This is Moria's game to lose. He needs to take advantage of the momentum, I think. Okay, these wolves coming in to get a good charge in on the archers. That is the last thing you wanted as Lorien, was to have these wolves shred down your archer horde. You got 196 pop on the field right now. You are desperate to get out everything you can at this point. The goblins are down to 340 pop on the field. Wait a minute, and remember, pound for pound, mano a mano, the elves are better. So if these numbers continue to dwindle too far for the goblins, all of a sudden, they might be in trouble. We're now sub 300 for the goblins, 274 pop. 122 pop for the elves. Maybe that number is stabilizing? But we cannot ignore the fact that elven infrastructure, level 3 elven infrastructure that's taken the whole game to reach that level, is going down. And so that elven economy is collapsing. 375 max pop right now for Lorien. The goblins are at 1,000. So he's sitting on 11,000 coin in the bank. He's feeling comfortable. That Goblin King definitely feeling comfortable right now. It's just a matter of, can Moria actually leverage the resources that he has collected in order to get the job done, or will he give Lorien breathing room to come back into this game and win this thing? The Ruin of Angmar on the field. I don't think I have to tell you whose side that is. The elves will knock that down rather quickly. Goblins about to shred this level 2 Malorn tree. This is a fight the elves should win, but not before losing their tree.
The Galathrim are at your command.
If we take a look at what's going on, meanwhile, in Goblin Land, we only have 180 pop right now. Suspiciously, those resources,
Couldn't give it away.
the resources have disappeared for the goblins, and it makes me wonder just where has that money gone? You know? Unfortunately, I'm not really able to tell from the HUD what might be getting trained or what might be getting researched, but I would suspect that the next wave of units has been paid for. Probably some key upgrades have been gathered. And I would not want to be in Lorien's shoes right now. I will say, Lorien doing a very good job actually spending resources right now. Only 600 coin in the bank. That's kind of a bad thing in the sense that, you want to have a stronger economy. But it's also a really good thing in the sense that Lorien is paying attention to the resources and continually utilizing them, making sure it's not just sitting in a bank wasting away. Every single coin has to be marshaled together if Lorien wants to stay and ultimately win this battle.
I am Haldir of Lorien.
Haldir on the field. Gwedhanar. Orphan and Rumil gain damage and experience. Switch between different weapons. See, bow is activated right now. There we go. This sword.
The sentinels of Karen Amroth will protect this land.
March Warden of Lothlorien. Allied units. Interesting. It appears to be maybe like a teleportation ability, if I'm not mistaken. Captain of the Galadharim. Okay, so Haldir gains damage and armor. More damage as he gains power. Big fight right here. Let's get into it. This Huron tree doing a great job of distracting the front line, doing some damage. Abilities getting thrown left and right. Currently, about 500 pop for Lorien versus 630 for the Goblins. The Goblins have the numbers. Do they have the punch to go with those numbers? I think we're seeing some armor there on those Goblins, if I'm not mistaken. We do not see Frozen Waste being used yet. I wonder why not. There is right there. The archers there. They're spending too much time thinking about firing. There we go. They're in the battle now. You would expect to see the archer mass from the elves, but don't underestimate what a whole host of goblin archers armed with fire arrows can do to elven swordsmen. Interesting choice here that our goblin player has elected, Caligir. He has elected to focus fire his archers onto the hero. We're trying to get this level 8 Galadriel down. And that means, is she going to get away? Will we see a repeat of what the Great Goblin pulled off earlier in the game? She is getting chased by that anti-hero. Oh my goodness! Does she... Oh wow. Wow. They can't keep getting away with this! There's another hero. Again, that's 10 HP. Galadriel getting the job done and getting out. I never have such luck when playing this game. That's amazing. Okay, 196 pop for the Goblins and 260 pop for the Elves. Earlier, I was saying this game was all but over. This was Moria's game to win. I felt like they had it in the bag. Now I'm not quite so sure. The Goblins still definitely have the resource advantage. No doubt about that. Comment saying, did you catch that the Goblins had Bolg? No. No. Noob caster over here. I did not even see that Bolg was on the field. So I'll try to have to catch him in round 2. I'd say that the Goblins still have the better position economically. I'm a huge fan of the economic side of things. And when you have, again, 975 command points versus 650, in my mind, that should be game ending. That should decide who wins the match. But you cannot ignore the battlefield realities of what's actually on the ground right now. And right now, 240 pop versus 100 pop, the Elves have double the army actually on the field. And Galadriel, not fully healed up, but definitely feeling a lot healthier than she was before. Right back in the fight, thinning out those goblin numbers. And maybe keeping Moria on the defense, keeping Caligir from expanding out, amassing those resources, getting up that huge goblin army that he would need to win this thing. This goblin horde going down. Oh, or is it? Or is it? The Watcher shows up out of nowhere. This is a level 3 super swordsman unit. There are only two of them on the field currently. If you're not Caligar, if you're Prophet, you really don't want to lose that unit. I'm a little scared. I'm rooting for Mario and Luigi here. Let's see if they actually survive this fight. Abilities getting thrown left and right. We have heroes. Oh my goodness, the level 9 Galadriel. Beautiful and terrible as the dawn. Great Goblin goes out. She goes down. She's dead. And if I'm not mistaken, the Super Malorn Bros died. There's Haldir. Very little HP. It's funny, I mean, we're in the late game here, but it's still a skirmish between a handful of units. I think Haldir should be able to actually clean up these units, especially because he is flanked by Idrial and who else do we have here? And Celeborn. We gotta talk about Celeborn, right? All nearby friendly units gain speed, experience, and fear resistance. Summons a battalion of Sentinels of the Silver Tree. Gain armor and deal splash damage. Gain armor. What does that say? Attack, deal magic damage. Nice. Grant friendly units experience. Oh, that's really cool. Kelemegiliath. Alright. Cool. Idrial. Fluid Strike. Powerful attack that causes meta impact. Okay. Cleanse shadows. Nearby Sindar Pathstalkers and Handmaidens gain damage and armor. Summons a golden tree surrounded by elven mists onto the battlefield. Friendly units within the mist become stealth. Idrial's power cooldowns are reduced by 20% permanently. Nice. She seems like an assassin unit, but her abilities seem very supportive. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, right now, we've got to talk about what's going on. Earlier, I mentioned how elven infrastructure falling left and right. Now, it looks like it is Moria that is losing key infrastructure. Infrastructure that has taken the whole game to build, to level up. This is the core of the Misty Mountains base. And it is falling. They still have 750 total pop. The elves are up to 875, so the economic potential now lies in the hands of the elves. Population numbers are just about even, a little under 400 for the goblins, a little over 400 for the elves. Big battles happening here. We have the Wahairim, who look like they are elite spearmen. Those wolves stood no chance. The Horn, of course, running around. Not a good battle there for them. Golfimbu will look at the damage immediately suffered by charging into those spears. I feel like at level 5 spears of that. Yeah, we've got one white wolf still running around. Fimbulwinter. The wolves still running around, but I don't think. Yeah, dead. Okay. And look, this is the that's Idrial's tree, is it not? A Malorn tree that's, what is it, healing and shielding? We've just picked up Cast Down Its Walls. Conjures a Roaring Gale, which we see right here. Oh my goodness. Oh, I think that might be game ending right there. Why? Because this level 3 Mountain Orc Lodge goes down. And that would be a core part of the Goblin base. Wolves have shown up just to get line of sight in order to get this Dragon Strike up and running. Let's see what kind of damage it causes. The Hidden Sanctum getting low. This level 3 Lorien garrison getting low, but I suspect it's not enough. If we go back over to the Goblin side of the map, the Elves pressed forward, ending the game right there. The Goblin Fortress goes down, and that's a win for the Elves of Lorien. Wow, what a match. I did not expect the Elves to be able to come back from that. That was really epic. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like this video. Consider subscribing to the channel. And then, be sure to check me out too on Twitch at Iron Kaiser Gaming. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for being a part of this adventure. For now, this is yours truly, the Iron Kaiser, signing off. Have a great one out there, guys. See ya.